Hey everybody, welcome to Fit Tip Tuesday. Today what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you my new kits for a non-stretch fitting waistband. If you've been following along with me, you know that I have just wrapped up my review and series on the top down center out pants fitting method, and I spent a few days looking through all of my notes from my entire pants fitting journey from the beginning until now. And I've come to the conclusion that no single method can be the total answer for successful pants fitting. Going forward, my pants fitting method is going to be called the Whole Scoop Multi-Method Pants Fitting. And the reason why I'm calling it that is because I'm taking bits and pieces of things that work and I'm putting them together in a streamlined process to make pants fitting as quick and easy and fun as possible. So right out of the gate, I'm going to be continuing to start the method with a single leg muslin and a separate waistband, and we're going to drape fit that single leg muslin onto the body. The purpose of that is going to be to balance the front and back leg. I've spent a ton of time working with the single leg muslin with over 100 women of different shapes and sizes. And what I've discovered is if you take the time to determine the position of your one leg muslin at the waist, it then reduces the number of traditional pants fitting adjustments you may need. And I also have other things I want to share and things that will help you get to your desired pants fit when you consider certain areas of the pattern and compare them to your shape. So that's why I think that's the major reason why I'm moving on from top down center out, because I do think there are features on the pattern that can be adjusted to accommodate you or accommodate your shape just to make it a little bit easier. So to kick things off, I am going to be offering a kit that includes everything you need to make a non-stretch fitting waistband. The cool thing about these waistbands is that you can use the waistband over and over to fit your pants, different patterns. So once you make one, you can use it until it wears out, which we're going to make it really strong and stable so it's not likely to wear out very fast. So I'm going to be offering 3 kits: straight waistband kit, a contoured waistband kit, and then a kit that includes enough supplies to make both versions. Now you may be wondering what's the difference between a contoured waistband and a straight waistband, and I think the biggest difference between those two style waistbands is that a straight waistband wants to nestle into the smallest part or the smallest measurement on your body. So if you like to wear your pants at your natural waist and you have a defined waist, meaning a strip of fabric can sit there and be comfortable, a straight waistband is going to work great for you. If you like to change up the position of where your waistband sits, meaning maybe you want it a little bit higher than natural waist or a little bit lower where the measurement is larger than your natural waist, the contoured waistband tends to stay put in those areas of your body where you're not nestling it in to your smallest measurement. So you can pick and choose which waistband you want to work with, and then you can work with it with your favorite pants pattern. So the idea is you want to put this waistband on your body separate from pants and then fit it to where you want your pants to sit. So that's the first step of the fitting process. And I've gotten some requests for a kit with everything you need in it. So let me show you what I came up with. I went to New York last week and I got a roll of my favorite muslin to do jean fitting with. It's a double weight, super firm, non-stretch muslin that's very stable. So that's going to be the waistband and waistband facing. So if you're ordering the single kit for one style waistband, you're going to get a 1/4 yard of this. And if you're ordering the full kit, you're going to get a 1/2 yard of this. And you can see it's extremely stable. And even if I pull it on the bias, there's a little give there, but it's not very much. This stuff is nasty. It doesn't go anywhere. So that's going to be the base for your waistband. If you're ordering the straight waistband kit, you're going to get 2 yards of band roll. Band roll is this thin strip of interfacing that's really all ready to go, and it's perfect for straight waistbands because it's already cut to a width and you just sew it in. So this is for the straight waistband. And if you're going to be working with the contoured waistband, you're going to get a 1/4 yard of this very firm, sheer, non-stretch interfacing. This stuff is tough as nails. It's going to keep your contoured waistband in shape over many, many uses. So of course, if you are ordering the combination kit, you're going to get both a 1/4 yard of this interfacing and you're going to get 2 yards of band roll. Then, if you've been following along with me, I've added Velcro to the non-stretch waistband. And the reason why I added Velcro is because it makes it significantly easier for you to close your waistband. So we're going to use Velcro that's 1.5 inches wide by 3 inches long as the closure for the waistband. You get 1 for a single kit. You get 2 if you're doing both the contour and the straight waistband. And then you're going to get 1/2 inch wide Velcro. Now this Velcro goes in 2 places. You're going to use the hook side along the 1/2 inch seam allowance at the base of your waistband, and that's going to do 2 things for you. It's going to make it easier for you to feel that 1/2 inch seam allowance when you're fitting your pants. It's also going to act as a third hand because we're going to put some of the soft Velcro on the inside of the pant leg to hold it in places. So while you're adjusting your one leg muslin, you don't have to worry about the whole waistline and pinning it and keeping it from sliding around. So for a single kit, you're going to get 2 yards of 1/2 inch Velcro, and for the double or the combination kit, you'll get 4 yards of 1/2 inch Velcro. So let me just show you quickly how this works. Here is my version, or my straight waistband, and you can see I've got it in a muslin. So basically you wear your muslin, you put your waistband on like this, and then once the waistband's on you, you can see from the inside here, I've got some strips of Velcro. Now you're going to put them in 3 or 4 places. You're going to put them along the 1/2 inch seam allowance on the center back. This is going to get stuck to the Velcro you put at the center back of your waistband, and I'll show you that in a minute. But basically, that way, once you've gotten your muslin on your body, you can hold it at center back without fiddling around and trying to pin it there. You're going to put a second strip vertically, like this, in the middle of the back leg. That's just going to hold the back waistline up while you're adjusting other areas. And then the same thing is true in the front. You can put a 1/2 inch at the center front if you want to. I will tell you, sometimes I don't put it there because it's easy for me to see in the mirror and just get that into position. But if you feel like you want the added help of putting the Velcro there, certainly put the 1/2 inch there. And then also in the middle of the front leg. So that's where the soft Velcro goes. The scratchy or hook side Velcro goes along the bottom edge and at the center back. So that's where you'll be attaching the Velcro you put along the center back seam. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to sew one of these together so you have those instructions. And then if you're interested in the kit, I have links to those in the description below. So this is really exciting. I feel like I'm launching on a new adventure in pants fitting. I think 2023 is going to be my year for all things pants, because in addition to revamping my fitting process, I'm also working on some pants patterns, and one of them is going to be man jeans. So I'm super excited about all of this. So let me show you what we're going to do here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, this muslin is very firm, and to make it easy to cut, I'm just going to snip and rip the edge here to make sure it's straight on grain. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself 2 strips that are 1 inch wider than my finished waistband. So let's say for this example, I want to make a 1.5 finished waistband. I'm going to cut 2.5 inch strips. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to measure 2.5 inches, and I'm going to mark that right here. And then I'm going to measure another 2.5 inches, and I'm going to mark it here. And then here's the cool thing about this fabric. I can just snip and rip it. I don't have to cut it because it will tear on grain. There's one. And let me get my second one. All right, so I've got my strips. Now, if you want to make a contoured waistband, just pick a contoured waistband pattern piece out of one of your pants patterns that you have on hand. Alternatively, you can make a contoured waistband by putting a strip of fabric around your waist and pleating out or darting out the excess in the back to get the shape that you need. But the easiest thing to do would be to just use a contoured waistband pattern piece that you have in your stash. So you would cut out 2 of those. Now, if you're working with the contoured waistband, you're going to cut out 2 contoured waistband out of your muslin and 1 out of this non-stretch fusible interfacing, and then you're going to fuse this onto one of your pieces. All right, so I'm going to not show you that step in this tutorial because I'm going to work with the straight waistband in this tutorial, but basically the steps are: cut out 2 contoured waistband pieces, 1 for the facing, 1 for the waistband, cut out 1 piece of this fusible interfacing, and then just fuse it to one of the waistband pieces you cut out. At this point, it doesn't matter which one because they're both the same. And the nice thing about this muslin is there's no right or wrong side, so it's just very easy. Just fuse it to a side, and then you're going to go join me in the next step now. We are going to take our 2 strips, and basically I want to make my strips so that they're 3 inches longer than my waist. So basically the front of the waistband is going to overlap by 3 inches. So if you're picking out a contoured waistband pattern, make sure you can overlap it 3 inches. That gives you room to fit your waistband in different areas on your body, or if you get bloated or gain weight or lose weight, you have wiggle room to slide it in or slide it out with that 3 inches of Velcro. Okay, so for quickness, I'm just going to stand up here. I'm going to wrap my strips around myself like this. And I'm just going to measure, 3 inches is going to put me about here. So I'm just going to cut off the extra. Okay. All right, so now that I've determined the length of my strip, the next thing is to sew them together. So let me get my sewing machine and we'll move on to that step. All right, so the first step is we are just going to sew our strips together along one edge using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to sew this. Okay, so the next step is we are going to open this up so that the seam allowances are face up like this, and I'm just going to finger press them to one side. You can also do that in the iron if you'd like. So basically now I am going to put my band roll underneath the seam allowance like this, so it's butted right up against the seam, and I'm going to understitch. If you're working with a contoured waistband, you're just going to understitch like this without the band roll, because remember, you already interfaced one of the pieces. So basically I'm just going to understitch now, and as I go I'm just going to tuck that band roll right up against the seam. I'm just working a little at a time here, making sure it's firmly against the seam. All right. So you can see now we've got a very firm waistband and facing. The next step is I'm just going to press this down. Now you can do it with your iron if you like, but I'm just going to finger press. The nice thing about this muslin is it's very accommodating, and it just sort of will work with you. You don't have to fight with the fabric to get it to do what you want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to just sew the bottom edges together at a 1/2 inch seam. So again, if you want to press it, you can. But basically I'm just sewing these layers together at a 1/2 inch. All right, so here's my outside of my waistband. The band roll doesn't make it all the way to the bottom. I used inch wide, but that's really okay. The whole purpose of this is to keep it from stretching out of shape, and it will do its job. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our 1/2 inch Velcro. You know, measure out a piece of Velcro that is the length of my waistband. So, and actually I don't need to cut it until I have it sewn on, so I'm just going to separate the loops, the hooks from the plush here. Now it's really important to use the scratchy side of the Velcro or the hook side of the Velcro on your waistband. So I'm going to consider the right side of my waistband to be the side that doesn't show the understitching. Okay, and basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stitch the Velcro on at that 1/2 inch. So the band roll doesn't make it down to the bottom, but the Velcro will act like band roll as well. It's not going to stretch either. So we're fully protected here. So I'm just sewing this on at a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go around both ends. So I'm going to go across the top, and then I'm going to go across the bottom. Side, I'm just going to clip my Velcro to length. I'm just going to pivot, and we're going to go down the other side like this. Okay, so you can see now we've got the Velcro sewn on. This represents the 1/2 inch of the seam allowance for the waistband. Okay, so we've got that on. The next step is we're going to fold our waistband in half like this, and we're going to use a Sharpie marker to mark that center back edge. So when I open it up, that's going to be my center back. Now to help us secure our muslin to our center back, we're going to take 2 skinny strips of Velcro and we're going to stitch them on like this, right above the top like this, on either side. And this will allow us to work with a left or right leg muslin because we're putting the Velcro all the way around and on both sides of center back. All right, so I'm just going to quickly stitch on the opposite side. I'm leaving a little breath between the Velcro so you can see the actual center back. Okay. All right, this is exciting. We're almost done. So you can see now we have the center back. There's the center back. And then we're going to wrap it around to the front now. This is how the waistband is going to go together. So we need to put one of our 3-inch pieces of 1.5 inch wide Velcro is going to go here. Okay, so one's going to go on this side, and I'm just going to clip that together with a Wonder Clip here. And then this one needs to go on the inside. So like this. So basically you can see now one's on the inside and one's on the outside. So when we put it together, you have your closure. So basically to sew these on, I am just going to stitch them around and then I'm going to do an X in the middle just to give them extra security. So I'm going to go around the edge. And then I'm basically just going to sashay down the middle. No, doesn't need to be perfect. We just want to make sure it stays. So I'll just go across like this. And then when I get over here, I'm just going to go like this. All right, so you get something that looks like that, almost like a barn door. And I'm just going to repeat that for this end of the closure. Okay. All right, so here is our wonderful waistband. I feel like we need to try it on. You want it to fit nice and firm. You know, you may have a little bit of ease, but mostly you want it to be nice and firm. That's what you're going to hang your pants off of when you drape fit it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to make a non-stretch fitting waistband. If you'd like to order a kit, you'll find the links for those below. So just remember, don't throw away the soft side of the 1/2 inch Velcro. That's what you're going to be basting into your muslin to help hold your waistline up while you're fitting different areas of it. So going forward, I will have more tips and tricks for working with the whole scoop multi-method pants fitting. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for watching, and join me this Friday for FabFit Friday. I'm going to be showing you my progress on my top I'm working on back there. It's going to be really fun. So have a lovely rest of your day, and thanks for watching.